What is up, my dudes? We've got the Corporate Esports Association Dota 2 Spring 2019 tournament going on. We've got Amazon Deepdivers against Amazon FishingBoatV2. So it's going to be a bit of a team kill today, quote unquote. These two probably practice against each other a fair amount. And we're in the playoffs now, so this is also a best of 3. And we're also in the round of 16, so one of these teams will be eliminated from the competition. I believe Amazon Deepdivers is the C team for Amazon, so unless they can get some good drafting going on, I do think that FishingBoatV2 are going to be pretty favored going into this this match. But let's hop into the draft. Most notably, we're in 7.22 now. This game was from a few weeks ago, so 7.22B instead of 7.22C. But there weren't that many big changes in C, so it should be mostly the same. The main difference is we might see IO in this game because IO got nerfed to oblivion. But other than that, probably just gonna see some pretty normal heroes for this patch. No more Drow, thank God. The rest of this tournament is played on the Drow patch, and she got nerfed pretty hard, so it's less first pick worthy, but she's still a pretty decent hero. The main thing is she can't come back into the game anymore if she has a bad start, or it's a lot harder. At least you still have you can still go hit the jungle for like 15 minutes, but you won't kill the ancients as quickly. So Deepdivers are going to open with a Mars ban, because Mars also got added to Captain's Mode in this patch, and this hero is, he's pretty good, so I can say. He's very burst heavy, but if you have like an Omni Knight for instance, he definitely falls a bit flat, so you can't really pick Mars first. Maybe a bit of a wasted ban from Amazon Deepdivers. They also banned the Morphling. We got wrecked by FishingBoatV2's Morphling in a previous match, and it's a pretty mean Morphling. But again, you can't really pick Morphling in the first phase unless like you're very confident about your Morphling, like Team Secret is. But even then, they try not to pick Nisha's hero in the first round. Sven banned out as well. Warlock is super strong in this patch. So far in this tournament, I've been saying that Warlock is like not a very good hero right now, but the changes to Fatal Bond and the Ags have made him an incredible hero. Doom and Bounty Hunter are pretty normal bans as well.
Ten seconds to pick.
So we'll see what Amazon Deepdivers has planned for this match. I'm sure they thought about this a lot. They've probably played against FishingBoatV2 a few times in practice matches, so it does make sense that they would know what to ban. So they ban they pick Rubik from the get-go, trying to block an Enigma pick, I suppose. I think first pick Rubik can be a little bit underwhelming, because now for the rest of the draft you can just pick heroes that don't have the best spell steals.
Only 10 seconds.
But it does limit the hero pool a lot, so it's a bit of a double-edged sword. If you pick Rubik into a game with like no good spell steals, he can feel very underwhelming. But then at the same time, the enemy team might not have that many good abilities either. So FishingBoatV2 gonna pick Grimstroke. Doom is banned, but we've been seeing a lot of Sand King Grimstroke, and they're gonna open with it. Yeah, the Sand King's definitely made a resurgence in the last month. Just people are noticing that the new Sandstorm is actually quite good in the lane, and it's all about the sentry battle in the lane. If you can manage to de-ward Sand King's sentry, then he can go pretty uncontested for a while in the lane. And Grimstroke Sand King, you get the double Burrow Strike stun as well. It technically counts as a single target stun, but you always end up where you clicked. Grimstroke also got an Ags added, but we probably won't see that this game. It's a pretty late game item for him, and it's very situational. You have to actually have heroes that have illusion worthy heroes But it's basically like a poor man's wall. But also, Grimstroke Sand King is a pretty scary lane because you can always use the Ink Swell with the Bow Strike and then get the guaranteed Ink Swell follow up, which is a lot of damage. And we've been seeing a lot of Grimstrokes go for max Ink Swell in preparation for this combo. We've seen OG run PA. Because PA, it's very easy for PA to get on top of the enemy heroes. Also provides her with a way to stun her enemies to finish them off. Deepdivers, they respond with a Bloodseeker, which is a pretty nice pick for them overall. Also, Rubik has some great steals this game already. The Sand King has a lot of nice spells to steal. Even Sandstorm is quite nice if you manage to snatch your hands on it. And Grimstroke has 4 pretty decent abilities. So Bloodseeker, it's not really... They made it so Rupture is lethal again, which I think has been a pretty big change for him. I'm not really sure what the damage on... They also rescaled the damage, but I'm not really sure how that works. It's not clear like what the old damage was for the patch notes. But the Rupture being lethal again, it's been really great against Pangoli picks. But also Sand King, he wants to be a little bit mobile at least. Unless it's in the Sandstorm. Okay, so
Radiance band.
7.20 Rupture is no longer lethal, and it does 8% of current health is damaged per 100 range moved. So they've basically reverted all the changes to Rupture. They reverted back to pre 7.20, because the damage is back to the way it was before.
Only 10 seconds.
What's this max distance cap thing? Oh right, yeah. So there's also a max distance cap again, so if you blink more than 1300 units, you won't take any damage. But if you blink any less than that, then you will take damage. So Sand King with a Bow Strike, if he goes for a Bow Strike pre-Ags, he's always going to take damage. If he's post-Ags, he's got to do like pretty much the full distance Bow Strike, because the Bow Strike range is 1400 with the Aghanim Scepter. Lesh and DP banned out. I think Lesh is definitely coming back into the meta. I probably would have preferred Lesh on the FishingBoatV2 side, because they've got a lot of like spread damage already. But DP as well with the new Aghanim Scepter upgrade, it makes her less ulti dependent. She can actually deal a pretty decent chunk of damage outside of her ultimate. It also helps her sustain a lot, the extra ghosts. Anti-Mage and Alk ban for Amazon Deepdivers. I mean, Anti-Mage would probably not provide too many problems right now, though. If you get the Rupture reflected on you, that's... I feel like you should just disconnect from the game a little bit, calm down, and rejoin, because that's a pretty tilting moment. And Alk banned for Amazon FishingBoatV2. I guess it makes sense, but normally you would pick Alk in the last position, because he definitely can get countered pretty hard in the lane, especially against Bloodseeker. So I mean, Bloodseeker would completely own the Alk in lane, and even after the lane. So I'm not really sure why they're too scared of the Alk pick, because they already have Bloodseeker. FishingBoatV2 with a Pudge. Oh, I love this. Pudge is a super exciting hero to watch right now. I wonder if we're gonna see a 3-position Pudge like what Zai plays. It's very hit or miss. I think you have to work with it a lot. Shadow Shaman picked for Amazon Deepdivers is gonna be probably a position 5 Rubik, which is not the greatest, to be honest. Rubik feels like he does need quite a bit of farm to get involved. Because otherwise his like
Only 10 seconds.
mobility is just like really bad. But Shadow Shaman also needs farm, and probably more so
5
than the
seconds.
Rubik.
Hurry, hurry.
It's quite difficult to steal anything good from Pudge because you can always toggle the rot after you throw the hook or after you start the dismember. Toggling rot doesn't cancel the dismember, even though it's like dismember's a channeling spell. And FishingBoatV2 with a Naga Siren. Oh no. These supports are not going to be able to deal with Naga Siren in the slightest. If they went with Lion, maybe if Lion hit level 20 with the +3 mana drain talent, could have a slightly better hope. But Shadow Shaman is not really good at dealing with Naga Siren. All his spells are very single target focused. There's no AoE Hex at level 25 like the Lion has. Bloodseeker is probably not the best hero against Naga either, but it's a pretty natural Radiance builder, so it'd be nice to get a Radiance to figure out which Naga Siren illusion is real very quickly. An OD picked for Amazon Deepdivers, a pretty early OD pick, although they don't have last pick, so I think this makes sense. They probably need to ban Pugna at this point just to be safe, because Pugna can completely ruin OD's day. Naga's not the highest int hero, I believe. I'm not really too sure on that one, although she doesn't build too many stat items. Because if you think about the new Naga, it's all about like Diffusal, maybe a Manta, so that's some like +10 int, and then into a heart or a butterfly. So she's not gonna get like a big int boost. She's not one of those like Skadi builder illusion heroes. Maybe a bit later in the game, but for most of the game, she's gonna be fairly low int.
Radiance ban.
And OD's Arcane Orb does splash damage during Equilibrium now. Also, OD has some passive Mana Steal now, instead of just being reliant on the Equilibrium, which is quite nice for him. It's definitely a very welcome change, because a lot of the times when you played OD in the previous patch, it's like you would just run out of mana really quickly. It's all about balancing when to use Equilibrium, which I guess is like the whole point of the spell. TB banned out for from FishingBoatV2. I suppose TB would cause a lot of trouble for Naga Siren. You can, although I think they changed Reflection in this patch, right? It doesn't spawn illusions against other illusions anymore. Is it? Maybe I'm going nuts. Yeah, Reflection no longer affects illusions, so it's actually less of a counter to Naga Siren than it used to be. Interesting. I think he just lagged the game way too much. He would play like PL into TB, and then he would cast Reflection on the PL illusions, and then the whole game would crash. Storm banned out for Deepdivers. I think that makes a lot of sense. They do need a little bit more catch, I think, because right now it's just the Sand King who's going to go in by himself, but there's no one to jump in with him. They don't have a lifesteal. Actually, this is a pretty decent lifestealer game. It could be a mid Naga Siren. Does okay against the OD in lane because she has a lot of armor, 6 armor at the start of the game. So it could definitely be a lifestealer game. But lifestealer against Bloodseeker can also be pretty rough. And they're gonna go with PL, so gonna match them with their own illusion spam. I don't mind this too much. I think it's a pretty good PL game. The only big AoE damage is the Sand King right now. Maybe a Stroke of Fate would hurt if it hits all the illusions. But other than that, it's just the Sand King.
5 seconds remain.
And they're gonna go with Ember Spirit, so and this is also a bit flexible because it can be mid Naga or mid Ember, but probably gonna be safe lane Naga and a mid Ember. Although Ember against OD, it's I haven't seen this really match up really since OD got reworked many times. In the past, it's been very OD favored when the Astral Imprisonment used to steal int, but I don't really know what the case is right now. I don't think OD has the mana to like spam out the Ember Spirit in the early game. So we'll see how the laning phase goes. One problem that I have with Amazon Deepdivers team is their initiation is very non-existent. I guess they can get like a rupture on someone, but FishingBoatV2 they can get a hook or a bow strike, and it's pretty easy to start fights with them. Whereas the Shadow Shaman has to walk in and get a hex and a shackle. Maybe OD can get an early blink and astral someone, but it's not a very good initiation because it gives them 4 seconds for the team to react. So it's I kind of favor FishingBoatV2's lineup here. It's just a little bit easier to execute. This is taking a really long time to get into the game, actually. I don't know what's happening here. Maybe Dreamcaller's DC'd from the game, and then he hasn't picked his hero yet, which means it hasn't moved on to the like item picking stage, and that's another 30 seconds. I'm not really sure what's going on here. Might fast forward if it's taking too long. Well, you know, this is what you could expect from a game from a small indie company, so, bugs galore. Gonna maybe fast forward a little bit. Now we know how long this game is gonna go for, but it's fine. Okay, alright, well, Dreamcaller's finally picked his hero. That took a really long time. We've got 30 more seconds. I'll just skip right into the game. Alright, and we got the anime loading screen now. Oh. Okay. Well, Gundam is a punch spammer, apparently, so this is going to be really exciting. Alright, let's hop into the game. On the side of Amazon FishingBoatV2, we've got Anathorn on the Phantom Lancer, Dreamcaller on the Rubik, Debug this on the Shadow Shaman, Zillidan on the Bloodseeker, and Smile on the Outworld Devourer. On the side of Amazon FishingBoatV2, we got Gundam on the Ember Spirit, Gundam on the Pudge. Sometimes when we touch on the Sand King, so it looks like he's going to be support Sand King. Pika on the Naga Siren, and Yuki on the Grimstrike. So one important thing to note about this support Sand King is going to be quite a bit longer before he gets a Blink Dagger, but they're probably going to play this like secret style where it's like 2 position 3.5s instead of a dedicated 3 and a 4. But Pudge, he's going to be the offlaner, quote unquote. So we're going to see level 1 Flesh Heat plus 5 health regen per second. Absolutely absurd. This guy's going to be pretty tough to take down, and he should also buy a Ring of Protection from the side shop, I think it is. You're supposed to, like, if you have like a statue and a Ring of Protection, that'll make you pretty much invincible for most of the laning phase. Shackles onto the Grimstroke. The Blood Ray comes out as well, so it's gonna. Oh, a nice dodge from Pika with using the Naga illusions to get some iframes to dodge it. And Debug this, who will take a lot of harass here. He's got 8 tangos though, so one of the benefits of Observer Wards costing 25 less gold is you can usually afford a second set of tangos or another clarity or even another ironwood branch. So a few quality of life things happen in this patch for supports. 2 Tome of Knowledges, so both supports can both get to level 6 at 10 minutes, mostly. But also the amount of experience you get went up as well. So I feel like I actually get to level 6 before 10 minutes more often than I used to. So it's going to be Gundam in mid on the Ember Spirit against OD, and Naga Siren at top. So I'm not really sure how much this Bloodseeker can do to contest the Naga here. Already with an early point in illusion, it's going to make it pretty easy for her to get last hits. Because if you just attack all at once, it's basically like having plus 75 more damage. Plus 75% more damage. And Pudge with the level 1 Flesh Heap is going to be pretty invincible here. There's not much that Anathon and Dreamcaller can do. Rubik is not a very high damage support either. And he also went for Telekinesis at level 1 with a 34-second cooldown. Very long time. So he's going to be not a factor in this lane. Hopefully Anathon goes for a Max Phantom Rush build though, because I think Max Spirit Lance is just not really the way to go. It's probably his least important skill. So maxing the other two. Even this Phantom Rush, you get 44 agility for 4 seconds, and on a 4-second cooldown. So you basically always have like a 44 extra agility. So this isn't 7.22C where the juxtaposed illusion damage went up, but they're still pretty strong. You basically get 16% of this 44% agility per illusion, which is still quite a bit. It's like 6 extra damage per illusion. Ember Spirit, he's going to pick up the DD here, but I don't know what he's going to be able to make out of it. I wonder what kind of build this Ember Spirit's going to go for. We've also been seeing a lot of Max Slider Fist from a lot of Ember Spirits. I mean, the only magic damage that OD can do is this Astral Imprisonment. So once he gets 3 points in the Flame Guard, he doesn't need to put any more into it, because there's no way for the OD to break the Flame Guard, at least in one Astral. If he commits the second Astral, then like you probably got a lot of value out of your Flame Guard already. So I kind of want to see Max Slider Fist come out of Ember, but OD at the same time has 6 armor, so he's pretty tanky himself. That sound is so annoying to go up against when you're playing against OD. It's just so frustrating. But Zillidan, he seems like he's been completely zoned out by the Naga illusions here. He hasn't been able to get many last hits. It's actually everyone on the side of FishingBoatV2 at the top of the last hit charts. PL is pretty close second, I suppose. But it's pretty hard to contest this punch. He's got 76 last hit damage, base damage, plus the Quelling Blade.
First blood.
Wow, first blood on the OD by the Ember Spirit. Not really expecting that. 2 points in the Slider Fist and 3 points to the Flame Guard now. Maybe wasting his Astral at an inopportune time, because it seems like the only way he can get this kill is if Astral is off cooldown. And he has been spamming it. And PO also got really low from the Pudge there. Pudge is with the level 2 Flesh Heap, just 8 regen per second, and he's just gonna run at them with Rot. Who needs Hook? Yeah, Bloodseeker, he's really struggling in this lane. He went for Boots first instead of picking up regen for the lane, so he's I mean, you do have the Blood Rage, I guess, to sustain yourself in lane, but that's assuming you're able to get last hits in. He's only got 10 so far, whereas Naga's already doubling him up. Also, 111 is an interesting build. I think he went for like 011 earlier. I saw him he leveled the Blood Rite at the Rune fight, and then he went for Thirst at level 2. So it's like he didn't bring any regen with him to the lane, but he also didn't level the skill that lets him sustain in the lane. So I think Zillidan, he got punished pretty hard for that in the lane. Oh, Shadow Shaman isn't able to get the rune, so Grimstroke will be able to get both at top, and sometimes when we touch, also getting both at bot. 4 bounty runes going the way of FishingBoatV2, and they're already 2k gold ahead. That's how far ahead of the last hits they are. Also Ember Spirit with a solo kill on OD as well. He's already level 6, and OD, he doesn't have that much mana left. Turns on the Equilibrium and uses the Mango to get the Astral Imprisonment, but OD is very susceptible here. For the next 9 seconds, he doesn't have any. He doesn't have the Astral to save himself, and Zillidan will go down in the meantime at top. they even get that kill? They don't have any lockdown. Inkswell was used, so that's like the only lockdown in this lane. Naga doesn't have any pointed in snare. Arcane Rune at bot, but no wards to spot it out. It's pretty important at the 5-minute mark that you send another obs ward to your mid as a support player, because usually you almost always want to give a ward at the start of the game to your mid so they can spot out one of the runes, and then if the rune didn't show up here at the 2-minute mark, it's gotta be over here. There's not that many options for where the rune spawns. So it's pretty important that you get rune ward down for your mid player these days. And then when nighttime rolls around, that's around the time that your first obs ward expires. So you just send one to your mid on the courier, and then they can continue the vision. Also at nighttime, you can't see across the river anymore, so you can't see ganks coming from the other side, which means it's pretty scary to play. So both these heroes have decided to leave mid lane because this, even though there's no rotations happening from the supports right now, it's pretty scary because you don't have any vision on the other side of the hill. But Ember with the Arcane Rune, he's level 7 now, max Flame Guard. We'll see how many points in Searing Chains he wants to put in at this point. But OD's going to be in big trouble if he doesn't have any point Insanity's Eclipse, which makes sense. It's not a very good spell early on. Debug this is going to go down as well to the Grimstroke. Oh, actually the Naga Illusion finishes them off. So 4k gold advantage already. PL and OD are getting a decent amount of last hits. OD will go down again solo to the Ember Spirit. Only had to use 2 remnants for that as well. The OD, he actually skilled up his ultimate at level 7. But I guess he just wasn't able to use it. So Pudge gonna go for a Vanguard first. Looks like he's gonna go straight for a Crimson Guard to make this PL even more useless. And PL is forced back to base. He's only level 4. The Pudge is already level 5. So Gundam's going to be pretty difficult to take down here. They have to rotate a lot of supports, but Shadow Shaman and Rubik both don't do the biggest amount of damage. Anathorn's decided to go for this max Spirit Lance build as well, so the sustained damage from him is pretty limited as well. He needs to wait till at least level 6 before having a chance to take out this Pudge. Burrow Strike onto the PL. He's got Doppelganger to save himself, so he should be okay. But Pudge with the Rot just running forward. The hook will completely whiff here. So OD, it's time to hit the jungle. This lane is too scary for him right now. No one's still bought wards for mid, so it's pretty rough for him. He doesn't know where Ember Spirit is, or like if anyone's coming to help gank. And I mean, Grimstroke is here. He's actually gone for 3 points in Stroke of Fate. I feel like with the Ember Spirit, it's probably pretty good to go for max Inkswell this game, because Ember Spirit likes to get nice up close and personal, and Inkswell also increases his movement speed to the point where you can't run away from the Ember Spirit anymore. It would have been a nice combo with the Ember, but hopefully he goes for Inkswell next. Even Pudge, having max Inkswell with Pudge, you can always run at them with the Rot, slow them down, and then get the stun afterwards. So this, I think it's a bit of a misplay, but they're gonna get the Rubik here. He just walks up and dismembers him, and PL, he's forced the Doppelganger out of there, but now the Inkswell comes out onto the PL, and it looks like they're gonna get the PL as well. And Gundam with a 20 health regen per second, he's just gonna slowly heal his way back up to full. But Bloodseeker does have a lot of damage from Pudge getting low, but isn't able to convert anything from it. Pika, he's level 6, he didn't skill his ultimate, which is better for farming. If you want to farm pretty heavily, you want to go 404 and then level up the song at level 10. No, level 9, sorry. It's usually the way to go, as a carry at least, because ideally you don't want any to use Song of the Siren early on. It's also got a 3-minute cooldown, but if you're feeling pretty pressured, it's okay to go for it. Sometimes you see people hold skill points and they don't level up Song of the Siren unless they absolutely need to. And then if they decide to hit the jungle, then just use that last skill point. Ember Spirit, he's heading, but he's got an Arcane Rune and face drums as well, so he's looking to get really active. PL is going to be the target here. It's going to be kind of difficult to take him out, although the Arcane Rune is popped. Actually, Bloodseeker's here as well. Blood Rate dropped. A 2-man Burrow Strike, but he gets the silence onto the Ember Spirit though. But looks like Bloodseeker will eventually tick out to the Flame Guard. Meanwhile, the PL gets taken out by the Sleight of Fist as well. So double kill for Gundam so far, and Debug this also going to go down. Unable to get the triple kill on the Ember Spirit, but they can continue going. Rubik, he stole the Flame Guard, so it looks like he's going to be okay there. No more Fire Remnants coming out of here. And I wonder if we're going to see Ember go for an Ags this game. I think it's good, but I don't think it's worth the money. Maybe if he went for like BTs and Maelstrom instead, I don't know. Oh, nice hook onto the peel and the Burrow Strike follow up. So, Silence will cancel the Dismember, but Peel's gonna go down anyway. He just TP'd back into the lane. He instantly died again. OD's here now, but OD, I don't know how much he's gonna be able to achieve on his own. He gets Burrow Strike, and Sen King is just gonna walk out of here. There's no slows right now. Equilibrium was off cooldown. So Ember Spirit well on his way to Maelstrom, and he picks up a regen rune as well. So now he can play really aggressively, use all his mana. Debug this is in a lot of trouble here. He hexes off the Ember Spirit, but he has to use the Shackles to save himself. He ends up just getting blown up anyway. Max Sleight of Fist does a ton of damage. Hook onto the Rubik as well, so Rubik is also going to slowly die here. And Sleight of Fist should finish him off as well. Alright, well, the damage over time completely wrecked them as well. The Flame Guard and Rot. Ton of damage coming out at time. 16 damage per second and another 60 damage per second. So that's 2 Radiances. And Naga, she's gone for I mean, this Naga can go wherever she wants this game, because Gundam, he's primed to take over this game now. So one of the advantages of Ags is that it really resolves a lot of your mana issues, because now you can spam the Flame Remnants without using any mana. So it's definitely a bonus. Anathorn, looks like he's going to be a little bit of trouble. He finds the real one, the steering chain hits him as well, and he just takes him out. Solo kill for Gundam, Wicked Sick as well. PL, he's only level 6 against a level 13 Ember Spirit. Ember Spirit, he has his Maelstrom now. Zillidan will take out the Pudge, so having to commit the Rupture for that, which means there's no Rupture to take out this Ember Spirit now. Oh, sometimes when we touch DCs,
too intimidated by the sheer power of electronic
but he's also got a blink now at 13 minutes into the game as a support Sand King. Oh, this game is looking quite grim for Amazon Deepdivers. See what Gaben thinks. Gaben is like, yeah, that's pretty close to 100% win rate for Amazon FishingBoatV2. Naga, about 2/3 of the way to the Diffusal Blade. Gundam tips Gundam. Bit of a tipping circle jerk going on here, but. Yeah, okay, so Ember Spirit, he's gonna go for an Axe now. He just wants to fight. And, I mean, I'm not even seeing any items queued up for the side of Deepdivers. Atos is next for the OD. This is a big stack for him. So that's pretty nice, but it's just the regular creeps, not the ancients. And Ember Spirit, he's here now. He's gonna kill it. He's gonna kill Dreamcaller under the shrine. OD, he astros himself, and he doesn't get the shrine regen. Another Sleight of Fist comes out. He's gonna take out OD as well. Godlike on the Gundam. And he's gonna take out Zillidan. In the meantime, Zillidan will just barely able to make out. The hook misses on him. A Sleight of Fist will finish him off. He's got the double damage as well, so he's completely destroying everyone. Debug this will go down one more hit. Ultra kill on Gundam. If only he left a remnant, he is to go for the PL as well. So Rampage denied for Gundam, unfortunately, but mostly because PL decided not to show up to the fight. Gundam having the game of his life. His Pudge as well, he doesn't care at all. It's like, you want to drop the hammer on me? And then you die because of Blade Mail. So the OD hammer is going to be pretty ineffective as well. He needs to be careful not to kill himself in the early mid game, or at all this game. And Naga Siren with the Defusal Blade now. I have no idea how Amazon Deepdivers can fight into them now. 15k gold ahead. That's usually the 1k gold advantage per minute is the point where we say it's pretty impossible. Zillidan gets Series Chains and hooked. It will be taken out as well. Beyond Godlike from Gundon. I think it was already Beyond Godlike. Also 4 bounty runes going the way of FishingBoatV2 as well. So this game is pretty rough. Probably, if you're Amazon Deepdivers, you're probably thinking about the next game already, because this it's gonna be pretty tough for them to come back into it. There's an arcane rune at the top rune, but it doesn't seem like Ember Spirit sees it. He might spot it out now. He's gonna go for it. Yeah, he picks it up, and they don't see that they see that there's no rune down here. So also arcane rune, one of the better runes for Ember Spirit. Very cooldown dependent. I think it's a 4.2 second Sleight of Fist cooldown.
Radiant's middle tower is being attacked. Radiant's middle tower is taking damage.
So PL also went for 4 Wraith Bands, but 2 of them are in his backpack, so not gonna get any value out of those. He uses their doppelganger to break the tree, so it's pretty obvious where he is, but Anathon, he's in a lot of trouble. Only 2 points in the doppelganger, so it's not gonna come back in time, and he gets taken out as well. Anathon just on a Gundon on a rampage, so I gotta take out the Bloodseeker underneath the tower. No shit's given. He's got money for Exile as well if he wants to buy it, and actually he probably just should. He can TP drop. Oh, he doesn't have a TP scroll right now, but he can drop a Remnant, TP back to base, pick up his items, and then Remnant back. So OD almost at his Atos, but I'm not really sure how much it's gonna do. Does give him decent damage. Atos got nerfed through this patch, so OD provides 10 agility and strength instead of 12. So I guess it's bit weaker than it used to be, but still a pretty good item. So Gundon's gonna have his axe delivered to him in person. Oh, no, he's gonna TP home. Instead, pick up the axe, but Anathon, he's gonna go down in the meantime to the Naga Siren. And Gundon. This is so confusing. At least they're not all called tree this time. Alright, Gundon with a newly picked up axe, go for Radiance as well. So 5 Remnants now and 0 activate Remnant cost. And it's so fast as well. I'm not really sure what that was about. He could have at least dropped a Sleight of Fist before he did so. I mean, the Atos will help him lock down the Emissary, but he doesn't have it yet. The Separate Wards are dropped defensively, but both lanes are pushing in top and bot and mid, so you just ignore the Serpent Wards in this lane and go to the other lane. Problems with static defenses. A big Sleight of Fist comes through, but not able to get the chains on anyone. Oh, just diving in aggressively with the Activate Remnant. And he's gonna get silenced here by the Blood Rite, but it's a pretty long Blood Rite as well. So Ember Spirit taking a lot of pain here. Another big Sleight of Fist comes in, and he takes out 3 heroes. Triple kill for Gundon so far, and but he goes down. Is he gonna buy back for the rampage though? He definitely could. Maybe giving Pika a chance to shine. Uses the song, and looks like I'm not really sure what's going on here. Oh, he's just gonna walk on top of the Bloodseeker and dismember him, isn't he? Oh, actually he goes on top of the Rubik, because otherwise the dismember would get cancelled by the telekinesis. Soulbind onto 2 heroes. Get the Rubik, and that's a dieback on the Rubik. Anathon also getting really low. Actually, Naga Siren gets taken out here. That's a pretty big kill for Anathon. Is probably not Actually, no, he's still in the dumpster. He's nowhere near a diffusal blade. Bloodseeker, he's running pretty aggressively, but won't be able to catch anyone else. So, think of the Ember Spirit and the Naga, a huge beyond godlike streak going the way of Zillidan. So he's got a blade mail now. But the problem with Ember Spirit is blade mail doesn't work against him because he's invincible during most of his damage. You can reflect the Flame Guard, but he's completely invincible during Sleight of Fist and also completely invincible during the Fire Remnants. So OD will go down as well. That's OD without a buyback. I'm not sure if that... I don't think that was his dieback. He went for the ATOS with no buyback. But everyone else, except for the Rubik, the next death is going to last a lot longer. Anathon gets silenced by the waifu, but he'll be able to take out the waifu in time. And Doppelganger out of there. Dismember goes on the wrong PL. It's the PL with the regular amount of life. Rupture comes out onto the Pudge, but he's just gonna outrun Zillidan with the blood. You can't reflect blade mail damage. Looks like Gundam's just gonna take out Zillidan and debug this. Pudge denies himself. Triple kill for Gundam so far. And can he get Anathon? He has no more remnants left. They get another waifu. Actually, PL manages to pick up an illusion rune, and they don't have any detection for this. He uses his doppelganger to get out of there, but yeah, it looks like Anathon would be able to TP out of there. So one of the problems with picking up Ags this early is the remnant restore time is still pretty long. It's 38 seconds. So once you're out of remnants, it takes you quite a long time to get all your remnants back. At least until you get level 25, and then it becomes a breeze for Ember Spirit. So that's one of the problems I have with picking Ags up this early. But you kind of end up like Earth Spirit, where like you don't have enough stones. You want to use all your stones, but then it's like a long time between having all your stones again. Go for a Linkens now. He doesn't want to get ATOS'd or hexed. I think it makes sense. Or ruptured even. But he certainly has more than enough damage right now. He's been slaying fools everywhere. Pipe next on the Pudge to keep his team alive, and that's a pretty big majority of their damage right now. I think Rupture is still pure damage, and Dreams that they changed to magic. OD will go down again. Smile not having a very good game this game, just getting bullied by Gundam all game. OD forced to buy back. They hook and Naga illusion. Rupture on the Grimstroke, but looks like he might be okay. He gets Hex, Blood Righted. It looks like he'll eventually go down here. The hammer drops, but not going to be able to do too much damage. Smile's going to die back here, and Zillidan also pretty low. Big side remnant forward by Spirit. No buyback on the Bloodseeker either. Dreamcaller manages to steal the remnant away from the Ember Spirit, so he'll be able to make it out of there. But OD's down for 60 seconds, and this game is looking pretty over. They can get at least 2 racks here, but it looks like they're going to go straight for the throne. No, alright. No, go for the racks. They don't really have good tower pushes. Oh, nice hook on to the Rubik. So, 1 rack's down, 3 heroes down on Deepdivers, so they can go for more. Gotta go for bot now. I mean, the hammer was dropped, it didn't really do that much damage. Ember Spirit just zipping through everyone. He's playing Storm Spirit. Pika gets a double kill, so it's time for Pika to finally get some credit for all the farm he managed to get. It's been the Gundam show so far, but also Naga Siren has been that living threat that they still haven't been able to deal with, that they won't be able to deal with either. big sleight of fist coming out from Gundon here. He had a Radiance queued up before, but he decided to go for Lincolns instead, which is a little bit disappointing. Ooh, wow, a huge Burrow Strike onto 4 heroes. And GG's called. Absolute domination from FishingBoatV2. Pretty expected, honestly, because FishingBoatV2, I think, are definitely one of the teams who are favored to take this tournament. So Gundon with an amazing start, and Gundam with also a pretty good start, just shutting down the PL completely. And we'll see how Amazon Deepdivers decides to change up their draft for game number 2. I think they had like a pretty decent draft for this game, but their support duo was kind of lackluster. Like compared to like Sand King and Grimstroke, there's not much play potential. Everyone's very slow and single target focused. Not very mobile either. So hopefully Amazon Deepdivers, they fix some parts of their draft in the next game.